But I learned there was queer theory and they were practicing it in schools with kids, which leads me to the big part of my talk, which is what is queer theory's central claim? What is the thing children are meant to walk away with? And the central claim is children are meant to understand that they are queer. Everyone, according to queer theory, is meant to understand that you are queer. All of us are queer. That's queer theory's main claim. So we need to talk about what does queer mean. It does not mean gay or lesbian. I have to say this at all of my talks. It's almost frustrating at this point, but queer theory hides behind people who happen to be gay or lesbian in the same way that critical race theory hides behind Black Americans to advance its radical agenda. So queer theory has nothing to do with being gay or lesbian. Technically, that's because queer theory argues you cannot be gay, you cannot be lesbian, you cannot be straight, you cannot be, as an essential quality of your person, any of these things. You can't be male, you can't be female, there is nothing there. That's the technical reason. The reason that most of the activists at the ground level argue it is because if people are stabilized and lead happy, healthy, and normal lives, they don't pick up pitchforks, and you can't manipulate them to go tear society apart. You can't get them to do revolution. Revolutions require instability to work, and if people who happen to be gay or lesbian are getting on and living happy, healthy, normal lives just as anyone else would, queer theory loses that radical, revolutionary potential energy that it would otherwise have. So those are the two reasons. With that out of the way, what does it mean to be queer? That is defined by David Halperin in 1995 in his book Saint Foucault Towards a Gay Hagiography. And in that book, and this is going to be a mouthful, I will explain it right after I get through it, but please afford me the opportunity. Halperin says this, quote, "Unlike gay identity," so as I was just saying, "queer identity need not be grounded in any positive truth or in any stable reality. Queer identity acquires its meaning from its oppositional relation to the norm. It is by definition whatever is at odds with the normal, the legitimate, and the dominant. There is nothing in particular to which it necessarily refers. It is an identity without an essence." Okay, now we'll go back and explain it. So unlike gay identity, as I explained, queer theory and being queer has no relationship to the truth. For queer theory, there is no such thing as truth, capital T truth, that we're all with reason and our rational faculties able to go and discover in the world. Queer theory at the outset, from the very inception, disregards that idea. There's no truth. And there's no stable reality. It's built on perpetually shifting sands forever. It has no relationship to stable reality at all. The second something becomes stable, they need to queer it more, so it becomes unstable. It's a revolution that never ends. I like to say that in queer theory, today's revolutionary is tomorrow's conservative, because the train never stops. If you think you're a radical today, tomorrow you're going to be left behind by someone who's more radical than you. It acquires its meaning from its oppositional relation to the norm. It is by definition whatever is at odds with the normal, the legitimate, and the dominant. That's the big kicker. What that tells us is queer is not an identity at all. It's an orientation one adopts in the world against all positive truth and all stable reality. It's a political stance you take on.